Good evening, fellow Mactonians and my dear guests.
Good evening.
For all the EC members, we are going to have an EC meeting post the meeting. So I request all the EC members to please stay back. And this is all from the president and over to the BPE.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The following roles have been booked for the upcoming meeting that is happening on 24th of November. Toastmaster of the day is booked by Toastmaster Raja. One speech slot has been booked by Toastmaster Sachin. The other speech slot is booked by Toastmaster Adishwar. All the other roles are open. Please contact me at the earliest to book your roles. Thank you, and over to the President.
Acting Sergeant at Arms can take
A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests present.
Good evening.
Just like how good cannot exist without evil, and a melody cannot exist without the silence between the notes, the song of life hits a lull now and then. We have this never-ending routine and nothing to look forward to. It's like coming back after an exciting trip and getting back into work. It's just time passing by, fleeting moments. And what's worse, when someone tries to make small talk with you and they ask, how's it going? And all you can say is, it's going fine. And it's worse when you're either in a group call or you're catching up with your friends and the question is, how was your weekend? And your colleague will say, yesterday I went on a trek, I got pierced by a barbed wire, then I had to rush to the hospital to get a tetanus injection. And then when it's your turn, you say, I stayed at home all weekend, I was doing chores. But I realized that there was something more to these mundane moments in life. And I realized this when talking to my grandparents. I always felt like if life was going as usual, there was really nothing to talk about. And my grandparents call me every other day. And all they ask is, did you eat? What did you have for lunch? What did you have for dinner? When did you leave for work? When did you come back from work? Did the house help come? And although it felt a little pointless to me, I slowly started realizing that they gauged how well I was doing with these questions. Things that felt very mundane to me was actually exciting to them. So, mundaneness is meaningful and was also a means of connection. Now, I'd like to introduce to you all someone whose life sounds the opposite of mundane. With 20 plus years of experience in the industry as a skill development trainer specializing in communication and leadership, she across various domains and sectors, she has 10 plus years of end-to-end event management. Her hobbies include writing poetry, record making speed of rotis, and she's a connoisseur of masala dosas. Please join me in welcoming our club president, Latha.
Thank you, Acting Sergeant at Arms, for this wonderful introduction. Now, I see a couple of guests over here. I would request all the guests to stand wherever they are and please introduce yourself. Please tell us your name and how did you know to come to know about Aakash. Yes, please stand. One of you. Any one of you.
Okay, you can sit.
Yeah, they can sit. See the person.
Hi, good evening everyone. And my name is Sudha. And I came to know about Toastmasters. I mean, it had been in our bucket list for a long time. But somehow, we made courage to get into this. So we had come last week and so inspired. So it just brought us here today again, and look forward to hearing more of your stories. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Rupa, Sudha's friend, most of the things she said applies to me also. We were looking for this for a long time. And last session was really very impressive. I was questioning myself, do I need this at this age? And after seeing more seniors, I'm also pretty impressed to do this. That's it.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Jyothi. So I am basically from Hubli and currently I am working in Bosch as a software engineer and I am around 10 plus years of experience. So yeah, I consulted my coach actually, career coach in Bosch with this problem of public speaking and the fear that I have. So they suggested me Toastmasters. So I checked for few on Google which could just be close to my house and this was one. So that's the reason I am here.
I just want to, I think Bosch has one of those
Yes,
masters.
the Bosch has.
And I have had I given an education session there long back. Is it still there?
Yeah, it's there, but the frequency that they meet is less. I
Of
think
feet?
it's once
Oh.
in 2 weeks or so.
Oh.
And that too, it's more online. So
Oh.
I'm looking for more offline sessions.
Thanks for the information. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi everyone, I am Aakash and last week I had visited Toastmasters club, and today I have joined the club.
You are not a guest, you're a member, right?
Yeah,
then-
member.
Okay, let's give a round of applause to a new member. Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Shiraj. I graduated. I'm a clinical psychologist. I heard from Chetan, so I'm here because I want to improve on my public speaking skills, which already existed. So I had a previous experience of stage fright, which I got over by comparing events in college, and that's how I got over. So I want to expand my horizons and become better in public speaking. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Warm welcome to all our guests and hope to see you in Mekong very soon. And now I would like to call upon our Secretary Toastmaster Madhu to read on the MOU number 1341.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is the minutes of the meeting for meeting number 1341, held on the 10th of November 2025. The theme was the dance between story and numbers. The word of the week was aspiration. The business session started at 6:24 p.m. and was chaired by the President Toastmaster Latha. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The President Toastmaster Latha extended appreciation for Vice President Education Toastmaster Apoorva TR for putting together the meeting in only 2 days' time, as the initial plan of conducting the humorous speech and the table topics contest was changed due to a lack of availability of judges. She mentioned that there would be no area contest this term and it would only be held in the next term. The regular meeting started at 6:27 p.m. The Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Rachana Sridhar started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Latha. President Toastmaster Latha opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Prashant. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer was Toastmaster Abhijit, R Counter was Toastmaster Sachin, PP Evaluator was Toastmaster Darshan, and Grammarian was Toastmaster Ujwal. There were 2 prepared speakers for the day. The first speaker was Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa in the pathway Dynamic Leadership. The evaluator was Toastmaster Shuba. The second speaker was Toastmaster Jyothi in the pathway Innovative Planning, and the evaluator was Toastmaster Raja. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Deepa Krishna Reddy and had 7 speakers in total. The general evaluation was conducted by DTM K Prabhakara, and the winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shuba, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Madhusudhan, Best Role Taker TAPG was Toastmaster Ujwal, and Best Role Taker for MTG was Toastmaster Deepa Krishna Reddy and DTM K Prabhakara. The President closed the meeting at 8:21 p.m. followed by the National Anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Toastmaster Madhu. Any objection raised or any amendments proposed? No. Since no objection
Yeah, I
raised,
think it's okay. I'll go ahead. There is something else I talked.
since there are no objection raised or any amendments proposed, I hereby accept the MOM number 1341 and open the meeting number 1342. I go back to the year 2005. I start my career, full josh, full energy. I want to do something in my life and I kickstart my career. It's the same thing. When you start your journey or when you kickstart your journey, you're full energetic. But once you hit the corporate life, you understand what is in store for you. 6 months, the same routine. Get up every day in the morning, do your exercise, do your household chores, eat your breakfast, pack your tiffin, go to work. 10 hours. Since I started as a BPO employee, then I moved to learning and development. It was more for double work what I was doing. So I'm just trying to learn what as a trainer I can do, how I can improve myself, all that going on. 6 months continuously, that's all I did. And that is what I got bored. And I'm like, is this what I'm going to keep doing all the time? And then I thought, okay, let me take a break. And from my office, they were taking us to Coorg. If I don't know how many of you know this, that when their client budget comes in, every 3 months or 6 months, they pull in all the money, then they take you out for a trip from the office. So we had been to Coorg for 5 days, all of us. Starting first day, I was really happy. I thought, okay, finally, nothing the same routine, get up, eat, do some household chores, work, come back, sleep. Again get up, same thing continues, keep continuing the cycle for you. Then I go to Coorg. First 1 day I like it, second day I somehow like it, third day I'm homesick. I want to go back. I was like, wow, my routine is so good. I started loving my routine actually. There's something, a rhythm, a discipline, everything, which in Coorg I was not feeling it. It was like, get up whenever you feel like, sleep whenever you feel like, no timetable for eating. I don't specify because I believe in eating at proper times. I have my timetable, according to that I feel like eating. So I'm not really getting any of that. Then I realized, maybe people get bored in routine, but I'm kind of a person who can come away from a routine only for a couple of days, couple of hours. It's always I want to go back to that same routine. This is something I feel I enjoy the most. I'm not kind of person who wants to go out of the routine and do anything. I want to be in my routine. Probably 3 days, 4 days, I'm out. But the fourth day, I think I get homesick. Every trip what I've taken, my friends tell Latha, third day you start crying like a baby, you want to go back home. Any trip we take you, third day, max end of the day you start, you want to go back home. It looks like you love your routine a lot. But one thing I feel that many people feel bored in their routine. But routine is something which is helping us be what we are. Those small escapes what we take to go out of the routine can be a temporary help for us, but not a permanent solution. So always try finding interesting thing in your routine. So after coming from the Coorg trip, I understood one thing. I love my routine, I want to forward. But how do I make more interesting? So I start putting in my hobbies over there. I like reading fiction novels. So I started with Sidney Sheldon, Jackie Collins, Annie Steele. So I started reading 4-5 pages every day in my routine while going in the cab. We were provided cab, and I'm talking about 2005. I used to go from Baswantgudi to all the way to Whitefield. No traffic like that, straight 40 minutes from Baswantgudi to Whitefield. Now I can't even think of crossing Ashoka Pillar in 40 minutes now. So that time I started reading books. So that made my routine, mundane life interesting. I started even knitting in between in the cabs. I do something interesting to make it nice. I started reading books. If I want to reskill myself, I used to take printouts. I do all that during that time. This is how I made my routine life interesting. That's when I stopped looking at holidays as an escape. My holidays then became something I wanted to enjoy. Leave work, leave routine life. Those 3 days, 72 hours, 96 hours, how many hours they were, that's all mine. And to just enjoy, come as a refreshed Latha, get back to the routine. After 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, again I'll go back to one more holiday, again refresh, come back. But that will not be my escape, or I'm not going to run away from my routine. This is going to be something I'm going to enjoy and keep as a memory for a very long time. Now, talking about the person who gave this theme, he's an engineer by profession, but he's trying his hands at business development. An avid history buff who loves running and who loves reading manga. So please give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Madhusudhan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Meaning in the mundane. At first, it might seem like a contradiction because, after all, who wants the mundane, right? We all crave excitement, adventure, and we are always on the lookout for those moments which make us feel extraordinary. But if you think about it, our life isn't all about these big dramatic moments. They're actually very small moments. Our life is made up of all these very small, simple moments which we often overlook. Now, it might be your morning coffee, it might be the walk that you take, it might be the smile from a stranger, it might be that quiet moment at the end of a long day. Finding meaning in the mundane is about realizing the beauty in the simple things. It's about understanding there is extraordinary hiding inside the ordinary. And it's about understanding that the growth, joy, and fulfillment doesn't just come from grand acts. It is about understanding that these small everyday choices that we make is what makes of us. Now, for me, this lesson came through running. So I had signed up for a race and I started my training, all excited at the beginning. New shoes, new motivation, new energy. But soon I got stuck in a routine. Wake up every morning, run, repeat. And for me, there was no medal at the end of each race in the morning. There was no crowds who were cheering me on. It was just me and the cold, empty roads. It was mundane. But I found meaning in it because I realized that even though I was doing this, I was making progress every day. I realized that along with my health, I was developing a discipline and consistency. Because of this discipline and consistency, I kind of realized that I was becoming a better person. I understood that discipline isn't quiet, it's not flashy, it's steady. It's about understanding what you want to do and sticking to it. Because at the end of the day, it helps you in turning effort into habit and habit into growth. That's what discipline is. And this is all about the small things, right? Now, here I remember something that Steve Jobs once said, which kind of fits beautifully. He said, only the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world actually change it. Now, he wasn't talking about giant leaps. He was just talking about the relentless attention that you give to the small details in life. Because think about it, the small details, if you excel at it, if it compounds, and over time, you become excellent. And I think even once Leonardo da Vinci had said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Now, if you want to master something, if you want to get better at something, small details are what you have to give attention to. Now, this is precisely what Ralph C. Smedley did back in 1924. He realized something simple. He understood that people were finding it difficult to speak with confidence. So, he wanted to change that. So he gathered people and he started small in a basement at the YMCA in Santa Ana, California. Week on week, people met, they spoke, they listened, and they learned. It was something ordinary, yet it led to something extraordinary itself. Because that small act of meeting and speaking and learning has led and snowballed into something that we call Toastmasters International today. Now, Toastmasters International has more than 14,000 plus clubs in more than 150 plus countries, and it has more than 270,000 members globally. Now, Ralph C. Smedley found meaning in the mundane act of speaking. And this meaning has built a legacy that is enriching lives all over the world. Our very own club, Mekon Communication Club, is the 4th oldest club in the country, and every week we gather to do something simple. We speak, we listen, and we learn. But in that simplicity lies the transformation, because coming here takes courage, and that courage leads to all of our growth. So tonight, as we begin this meeting, I invite you all to reflect what in your life can you find meaning in the mundane. What small habit or quiet commitment that can bring you joy, and also just think about things, because life isn't, again, about big adventures. It is about those small choices that we make every day. It's what shapes us and it's what makes us. So let's celebrate those small moments today, and let's celebrate finding meaning in the mundane. For the benefit of the guest, a typical Toastmaster meeting comprises of 3 sections. The first section is the prepared speech section, where members come ready beforehand to give a speech. The second section is the table topic section, where the table topics master will give random topics to members here who have to come up to the stage and speak for a minute or two. And the third section is the general evaluation section, conducted by the general evaluator. So let's start. To run a successful meeting, we rely on a few key role takers. So these are the people who handle the small, simple, mundane acts, but these small acts are what keeps the meeting organized and going. So, and also I'd like to say that we come here as a simple gathering, but because of these role takers, we learn something extraordinary, right? So let's meet our TAPG team, and these are the people who are the ones who help us in finding the meaning in the mundane. So as I call your name, please rise and briefly share your role. So first up is our timer Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the timer, I'll be timing the table topic speakers, the formal speeches and the general evaluation. I'll be using the red, yellow and green cards to alert the speaker of the remaining time. For the table topics, each speaker is allotted a total of 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will be raising the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll be raising the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll be raising the red card. For the icebreaker speech today, the speaker is allotted 4 to 6 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, I'll be raising the green card. At the 5-minute mark, I'll be raising the yellow card. And at the 6-minute mark, I'll be raising the red card. And for the other formal speech, the time allotted for the speaker is 5 to 7 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, I'll be raising the green card. At the 6-minute mark, I'll be raising the yellow card. And at the 7 minutes mark, I'll be raising the red card. And for the general evaluator, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, I'll be raising the green card. At the 2.5 minute mark, I'll be raising the yellow card. And at the 3-minute mark, I'll be raising the red card. Although my activity is pretty mundane, I'll do it to my best capability and give my report at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you. So our counter for today is Toastmaster Midhun.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds which are used as a crutch or a pose filler by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will listen for a repeated or overused words that don't have value to the speech, including and well, so, I mean, etc. I will also listen to filler sounds, including etc. When called upon, I will submit my report. Thank you.
Our PP evaluator for today's Toastmaster Apoorva.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the parliamentary procedure evaluator, I request everybody to firstly keep your phones on silent mode. Please refrain from speaking. Refrain from crosstalk, especially when there is a speaker behind the lectern. Please refrain from speaking on sex, religion and politics. And I request each of you to exit and enter only during an applause. Thank you. I'll give my report during the general evaluation. Thank you, over to the Toastmaster.
And finally, our grammarian today is Toastmaster Sachin.
everyone. So as a grammarian, I'll keep an eye on the usage of language by each and every single person present here. So, and I'll observe some of the good usages. It could be a quote, it could be a saying, and also some of the not so good usages. Now coming to the word of the week, it is extol, and the meaning to praise enthusiastically or to glorify. To use it in a sentence, our club continues to shine because we extol collaboration, growth and positivity. And I also encourage each and every one of you to use the word of the day. So yeah, I'll give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
So let's start with the first section, which is the prepared speech section. And I now request the evaluator of the first speaker, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, to read out the project guidelines.
The purpose of it's icebreakers by Darshan. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech.
Since our first speaker is giving their first speech today, I'll let them introduce themselves to all of us. So please welcome Toastmaster Darshan with the speech titled The Mind Before the Mind. The Mind Before the Mind, Toastmaster Darshan.
Have you ever wondered the decisions we make, are they truly ours? Do we truly choose what we like, or do the people and things around us choose for us before we even notice it? Think about it. We hear a song for the first time, not your type, you skip it. But then that song follows you wherever you go. And after a few days, your brain just gives up and you will be singing that song in shower. Now replace that song with your career, your goals, your habits. How many of them were truly your choices, and how many of them were quietly decided before you even knew or noticed about it? That's when I realized there's a part of my mind that's always ahead of me, making decisions, choices before I even knew I am the one who is making the choices. I call it the mind before the mind. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. When I think back, my mind before the mind started working when I was in LKG. There was this one boy who always used to hit me. I don't remember the reason why, maybe he liked it. Instead of hitting back, I would stay quiet. I would count 1, 2, 3, and then one day I would give it all back, just once. At that age, I didn't know what patience or timing meant. But my mind seemed to. It knew when to act and when to hold back. That was my first lesson, that calm doesn't always come from choice. Sometimes it's just built in. School wasn't just a place where I studied. It's where the mind before the mind learned its tricks. I went to same school from LKG to 10th. Same teachers, same college, same routines. Everything was same. So life was simple, easy and predictable. When everything stays the same, you stop asking why. I barely remember most of it because not because it wasn't important, because nothing really changed. That's how the mind before the mind works, turning routine into comfort, comfort into habit. It can help you grow, keep you stuck, or pull you down. Even our hobbies follow the same script. We think we chose them, but often they are chosen for us. Swimming in 2nd grade because my mother's friend's kid joined. Skating in 3rd because everyone were doing it. And table tennis in 8th standard because my friend used to play it. Each looked like a choice, but maybe it was influence wearing the mask of choice. After 10th came 11th, 12th, I chose science because everyone chose science. And then engineering, not out of passion, but the path was already paved. And now I'm in my final year of engineering. These days, my hobbies keeps on changing. I just go with the flow. It sounds simple, but the flow can go both ways. There's good and bad. Right now it's chess teaching me how a single move can change everything. Anime teaching me every story, no matter how strange, tells something about us. My kittens teaching me how to ask for whatever you want without hesitation. And finally sleep teaching me that even when I rest, the mind before the mind keeps working, shaping who I will be when I wake up. It doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It just learns from what we repeat. Repetitions becomes hobby, hobby becomes habit, and habit becomes you. That's how the mind before the mind grows. Absorbing, watching, learning, deciding, and eventually guiding you like it guided me to Toastmasters. My father used to come to Toastmasters, in fact to the same club many years back. He always used to say to me, and also forced me to join, but I didn't. But one day, one of his friends casually mentioned about it, and the quiet voice inside my mind said, yeah, let's go. No plan, no goal, not even curiosity. I just came here with no expectations. At first, I thought Toastmasters was just about speaking, but then I realized it's about noticing how you speak, how others speak, how we all stumble, learn and grow quietly in our own ways. And the more I spoke, the more I saw it, that the quiet mind that was always deciding for me, instead now I was deciding back. Maybe that's what awareness really is. When the mind before the mind meets the mind that's awake, when instinct meets intention, and when we stop being driven and start driving. So now I don't have one big goal figured out yet. I just focus on small steps, one goal, one day at a time. Because each step we take with mind that's awake slowly shapes the mind before the mind. And so today as I stand here, I am not here to force my mind before the mind. I am here to understand it, to guide it, and maybe even thank it, because after all, it's the mind before the mind that brought me here to all of you. Thank you, and back to you,
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Now, going to our second speech of the day, I request the evaluator of the second speaker, Toastmaster Chetan, to read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The second speaker is attempting Level 1 Project 2. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review the basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with a purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. Their goal is to meet the expressed purpose statement with a well-executed speech. The member may present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. Good luck to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. Our second speaker today is an engineer who's passionate about photography, programming, and music. So please welcome Toastmaster Ujwal with the speech titled Insane Working Hours to Insane Working Hours. Insane Working Hours to Insane Working Hours, Toastmaster Ujwal.
You all know that I just started working for a US-based company. US shift. Insane working hours. But there's one thing over the past 3 months that I'm extremely proud of. And that is how I convinced my managers to make me move away from insane working hours to insane working hours. Starting off is during the interview, my interviewer asked me, Ujwal, you know that we are a US based company. We don't have an office in Bangalore. So, you will have to be working from a co-working space. Having studied in a co-education school, co-education college, co-working space excited me. I was all up for it. And the company also booked me a cab. Every day, I used to sit in the cab, open my laptop, attend meetings, fix bugs, have lunch, everything in the cab. One day, during a meeting, one of my co-workers told me, Ujwal, I've lately started getting into Indian music. That's great, Jack. Classical? Bollywood? Nah. I'm listening to whatever you're playing in the background during your meetings. I was surprised. That's when I realized my Bluetooth headphones, my Bluetooth mic was just the professional setup that was required for my colleagues in America to listen to Bangalore Traffic FM live edition. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I introduced heavy metal to Indian classical music. A month into this, finance called me. Your cabins are higher than our monthly product revenue. I tried to explain to them traffic, traveling from Kodankote to Whitefield. They failed to understand. Until I showed them this graph. This is a graph that NASA makes. On the leftmost and on the rightmost zones, the temperatures and humidity are extremely high or too low for human life to sustain. And rightly so, you see Pluto, Moon, and Saturn in those regions. And as we all know, Earth lies in the center, this beautiful place. That's heaven for our life. And just around that is where you see Mysore. There's one place that NASA does go, though it's on the brink of survival, Delhi. How many people would want to go there? But, ladies and gentlemen, there is one place that NASA doesn't go. Bangalore. The temperature of a single day moves all the way from the left corner to the other side at exactly 8:30 a.m. in the morning is when it becomes habit. Your grandmother, grandfather comes out for walks. Your mother goes out to get groceries. Little kids come out to play. At least when there were no PlayStations and Instagrams. But a timer here showed the red card to our Bangalore weather. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where it turned hot, humid, and hostile. At that exact instant, you need AC, fan, sunscreen, and you need to stay indoors. And then the temperature moves all the way around. Now you know why PlayStations and Instamarts were invented. To save you from Bangalore weather. Finally, my manager agreed. Thus, I started working from home since then. One day, at 2:30 in the night, my mother walked into my room to see me attending a meeting, fixing some bug. She asked me, "Why are you working at this dead hour of the night?" I didn't want to interrupt the meeting, so I told her, "Meeting." She silently walked away. And 5 seconds later, slap! Not me. On the other side of the Zoom meeting. That is when I realized my mother had called her grandfather, who called her second sister, who called his third uncle's brother, who then called my manager's mother, who slapped him. My manager sat there silently, and after turning off his vehicle, he told me, "Ujwal, from now on, you can work Indian times." And this is when I had the realization. Mothers are the same everywhere. They have RAM, what I like to call as relationship access memory when it comes to family trees. They can connect dots from anywhere to any other place in your family. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the multiple ways that are out there that you can get to work from home, not have to go to office for the same pay. I conduct more such workshops at affordable rates. Scan the QR code for more. Back to Master 7.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal. Now let's move on to the second part of today's meeting, the ever exciting table topics session. To help us conduct this, let me introduce you all to the table topics master. She is a BCom and interior design graduate who's passionate about sports and fitness, and is also a true foodie at heart who enjoys balancing indulgence with mindful eating. Traveling and adventures like trekking and thrill sports are our hobbies, and she's here at Toastmasters to build confidence and sharpen her communication skills. So please welcome our very own Vice President of Education as the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Apoorva.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. For the benefit of the guest, a typical table topic session is where the speakers are chosen at random and given topics on the spot to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, our timer will show the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, the timer will show the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, he's going to show the red card. For today's table topic session, I draw inspiration from our theme, which is meaning in the mundane. Every day, we repeat a series of activities or tasks without really putting in much thought to it. But today, let's pause for a moment and reflect. I will mention a series of simple activities or tasks and to all of us that all of us do on a daily basis, which is a part of our routine. And you can choose to draw parallels or find a deeper meaning, or recall a fond memory, or maybe a humorous story as well. Today, today the stage is yours. You will come on the stage behind the lectern and look at these mundane activities that you do on a daily basis in a different lens. So the first topic is making your bed. I repeat, the first topic is making your bed, and this topic goes to Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Making your bed. Let me think of a time when I've had my fair share of experience in playing Dream 11. I don't know how many of us in the room have played that game, and also a fair share of even some card games in late night hostels. But that's not the story that I want to share today. But let me quickly ask the table topic master, what was the topic again? Making your bed.
Making your bed.
Okay. I fail to see how this is mundane because it's the most exciting thing you can do. So the bet I would like to speak about today is the one I used to place when we played cricket against the seniors in our campus. So we didn't have normal kind of bets. It wasn't bets like will this ball go for a 6 or will this will the batsman get out. The bets we used to place is if the bat would break, because it was more of a prank where our team members used to set the bat up with a crack or loosen the grip of the bat, and then essentially fix the betting that we used to place while the game happened. So that's what comes to mind. Over to you,
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay. I think there was a little confusion. I said making your bed, not bet. That's why it was not mundane. That was the reason why it wasn't mundane. Alright, so the next topic is commuting to work or college or whatever it is. Commuting to work or college. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Sachin. Commuting to work, going to work, traveling to work, walking, traveling, taking a bus, cab, taxi, driving, commuting to work. You work or college.
So, in the initial stages, I was someone who used to like traveling via taxi, like Uber, Ola, all these things. Like actually, to be honest, in the initial stage, I was not a big fan of metro. Like I don't know why, because I just didn't feel it was like worth it or anything. But later on, I realized how useful it is. Because, for example, I've never been to work exactly, but I used to go to internships. So I went to this internship, it was near Whitefield. So my car once I actually went because it was raining that day and it took me 2.5 hours from my house to actually reach there. That was when I actually started appreciating metro even more. Like I used to go by metro because it used to be cheap, not because I actually found it convenient while traveling. Because we know these days, like in peak hours, Majestic don't need to say much. So, but usually it used to take me around 45 minutes with metro compared to when I took a cab. So yeah, now I like to use metro very much. So yeah, that's how I commute to even college these days. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. The next topic is scrolling through messages. Scrolling through messages. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Midhun.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. When it comes to scrolling through the message, what comes to my mind First is morning when you get up. I generally get, I'm working in a hospital, so I generally get messages from the reception saying these are the appointments scheduled, and sometimes I'm working in two hospitals by the way, so it will one hospital gives the same time and another hospital also same time appointments. So morning it gets a little bit of nervous, I have to call one hospital and give a message and then call the other hospital and change the appointment timing like that. So, and after that then there are some groups where we scroll the messages and set time, like college groups and school and friends from there, and then professional this thing. So what happens is when I go through, sometimes I lose time on reading the messages, sometimes maybe good morning messages, unnecessary messages like that, and sometimes it may be that you miss the important messages also. So scrolling through the message like that goes. I mean, I think then I started keeping timing for the scrolling. Like later I understood that I mean 1 hour a day I'm spending only for that itself. So I think it's important to we have to time correctly for the day, how much time you have to spend for the mobile and scrolling. So I think it is important to, otherwise the time goes up like that. So that's about it. So I can
Thank you, Toastmaster Midhun. Good to know we have a doctor among us. Our club is filled with CAs. Majority of the CAs are from our club. So yeah. The next topic is paying a bill. Paying a bill, and this goes to Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Dear Toastmasters and welcome guests, paying a bill. So what are the bills that generally we pay? Can anybody tell me? Water bill, electricity bill, earlier telephone was there, we used to pay the bill. Then what other bills we pay? In my case, nowadays this online payments are there, which I don't know how to do it because we belong to the old school, and getting into this computer and other things is very hard to follow that one. I'm trying to learn from the young people to become more familiar with the computer operations, which I am trying to do that one. Nowadays, I don't do such things now because there are people who can do that job. That I will assign to them. I have given them, these are the bills that you can pay. They do that one. I don't spend time on that one. Then what is the time I do? I, being the chairman of the company, I always think how I can improve this thing, what type of people I can recruit, what type of people I can ask questions, what is the icebreaker I can do that one, and decide whether he is well capable of recruiting or not. So instead of paying bill and wasting my time, as a CEO of the company, I don't do such things. I only do because people are more important in organization. I spend more time in selecting the right people and putting my company in a better way, good way and high way. So that is what I do. Paying a bill, I have delegated that power to my assistants, which they do. Madam, I won't do such things, and I have delegated this power to this thing. They do it automatically, and I always concentrate in a more constructive way. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. The next topic is talking or greeting your neighbor. Talking or greeting your neighbor. And this topic goes to DDM K Prabhakara.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Talking and greeting my neighbors. So every day since COVID, I walk on my terrace, and next door neighbor is a doctor. he really picks up some flowers from his garden, and before that we exchange like this. Anything in the neighborhood, something like that, like his things from his home had been stolen, and that had ended up in my water tank, which I didn't know. So, but while I was walking on that terrace one day, I just, my wife was out of town, literally out of town means Atinagar, it's out of town. Then I just wanted to pump water in case it is required I would do. So I just wanted to check out whether the tank is full and whether I should wait for the water to come in. So I just opened the tank and found a purse upside down, lot of coins. I didn't know what to do. Then I called up my main neighbor and he said that belongs to him. And previous night or maybe a week back, even he missed it. Somebody had put a pole inside his window and pulled out the purse, and it had 70,000 cash, and he lost it. So good morning, checking up all around things is okay with your neighbor. Another person is that he catches up with during evening walk. He checks up with the whole world, and not only that, how the world works and his neighborhood is related to how it is related to Prime Minister. He will tell me I keep walking. Because while walking, mundane thing I do is breathe in, breathe out. I just keep myself focused. And he keeps talking. I once told him not to do it because he is losing breath in the process. He said, he told I am a good listener and he's a good speaker. So greeting exchange, everything is in fine. But my wife sometimes asks me this question. Every day you go to the same park, go through the same number of rounds, and don't you get bored? I said every day the thought is new. That keeps me going. Over to table topic, master.
Every day the thought is new, something we take back. Thank you to DDM K Prabhakara. The next topic is watching the sky for a moment. Watching the sky for a moment, and this topic goes to Toastmaster Chetan.
We as Bangaloreans are blessed with some of the most beautiful skies and clouds the world has to offer. I used to remember about 10 years back, I used to go outside on walks and just stare outside at the clouds, and you can see almost every type of cloud there is, and you can see the pattern out there. You have these big cumulonimbus clouds, you have those scatter pattern clouds, every single, and you have those jets that goes across and leaves a trail. Every one of these is visible right during the morning skies. And if you hold your breath long enough, you can even see satellites going across. I have a friend who built this antenna using a bunch of pipes and a couple of metallic rods. He connected it to his computer, fed it into a program, and he showed me how you can track the Sputnik satellite that goes right across. And all you have to do is just take the antenna and it goes across. You can track the entire thing on your computer, and it's happening every single day, all the time. The skies are a beautiful place. I love looking up because you never know what you're going to see, never know when you're going to see what. I've never seen a shooting star, and I hope someday I would see it here in Bengaluru itself. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. The next topic is waiting in the queue. Waiting in the queue. And this topic goes to Toastmaster Aakash.
Hello everyone. So when I was in class 5, I used to prepare for the science school clear entrance examination. And after a rigorous 1 year of preparation, in December, that exam happens. Once we clear the exam, we undergo the process of medical examination and the interview. So that interview happens with the principal and the director of the science school, who happens to be senior leaders in the Indian Army. So when we went for the interview and the medical examination, I remember we were standing in the queue in the morning 8 a.m. and the trainer and the people who were guiding me for the entrance for the interview, he was sharing stories like when we join Indian Army, we eat whenever we eat as much as we can, and suppose when soldiers go into the field, they do not get food very often, so they eat as much as they can, and they use all their energies, like they have to walk for 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and they even don't know like when they will get the next food, the next supply of food. So I remember that story, and and that comes into my mind when I remember about the standing in the queue. So that's all. Back to you.
Aakash. Next topic is cooking meals. Cooking meals, and this topic goes to Toastmaster Shuba.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for this topic. I actually recently, earlier this year, actually started getting into hardcore cooking. Otherwise, it was just Maggie and the occasional pasta to make it all fun. But I felt like I'm already so old and cooking is really a life skill. So I started small, maybe a dal, maybe a rasam, and I kept it as a step-by-step process. And in the beginning, I realized the dal wasn't cooked enough, the vegetables were very chewy, but ultimately I made that, so I was like, I made it, so I will eat it. And I had crazy amount of experiences eating my own food, but then it taught me something. The more I didn't like what I was tasting, the more I inquired to myself what I could do better to it. And the next time I actually remembered that, okay, this time I need to wait for 3 whistles and only then I know the rice will be good. And doing it over and over again made me less panicky. Now when I enter the kitchen, I know exactly what I need to do and what I need to prepare. And even like prep is like a huge part of cooking. Cutting the vegetables neatly, and yeah, initial days my hands started aching because I was holding the knife really hard and trying to cut very slowly, and yeah, for something that my mom would have taken half an hour to prepare, I took like 3 hours. But now I can see that the onion pieces are becoming finer and finer, and yeah, it's still a process. Of course, there's a room for improvement, but I've started enjoying it rather than maybe like a panic thing. Yeah, that's
I would like to, as we come to the end of the table topic session, I would like to extol the efforts of every Toastmaster who came here, ran the lecture and spoke. Even though these are all mundane activities, not giving in much thought, we got to see a few new outlooks out there. Somewhere I feel mundane is not mundane is not meaningless. It is where the actual meaning lies. So on that note, I would like to hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of today, Toastmaster Madhusudhan.
That was a great session. Thank you. Now let's have a quick 10 minutes break and reconvene. Welcome back, everyone. I hope the break was a good one. So let's move on to the last part of today's meeting, the general evaluation session. To help us with this, let's welcome the general evaluator for today's meeting. She's currently working as a HR manager at Infocon. She's passionate about storytelling, drama, and reading books. She's fun, and she also happens to be my mentor. So with a huge round of applause, please welcome our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusudhan, for that wonderful introduction. I'm sure each one of you found this meeting extraordinary. I mean, how a mundane word can be extolled to a level where the mundane versus now a grandeur word. The meetings, as a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the meeting proceedings of today, what can be done better and what was done good. So the meeting started at 6:25 compared to 6:15, but I see many of the members were not present, and the moment we had all the roll takers, the meeting started. And there was nothing in the business session, and then the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Shuba, took over. Toastmaster Shuba, like, I've seen you being, speaking very softly, and today it was a complete shift where your voice, tone came out like came out so beautifully that there was no room to say that this person could ever have spoken softly or in sort of whisper. So a very, I should say, what you have come up has been commendable. One thing that you can take it forward, like what I would suggest is, now that you have hold on your voice and your confidence is there, looking into the eye of the audience makes a lot of difference. Many a times we are recollecting what we have to talk, but when we look into the eye of a person, the memory, the confidence and the tone rises, and then we go to a next level. So apart from that, a very well opening by the Sergeant at Arms. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Shuba. And then there were Secretary Toastmaster Madhu, where he came with 3Q: crisp, concise and clear. His energy never came down, his tone never waved up and down. It was so clear and straight. Amazing. I mean, a person can have a hold on their volume and tone so much is really amazing. Again, one more thing that I would suggest is, at least today, in today's minutes of meeting, while you were reading it out, you were continuously focused on the content. Not once you looked at the audience. So I understand that one have to read it, but while reading, if you just look at the audience after in a sentence or two, it like connects. It was throughout your eyes was on the content. So apart from that, very well done by our Toastmaster Madhusudhan for the minutes of meeting reading. And President Toastmaster Latha, I have nothing much to say, but like you did make the guest speak out, and you introduced the Master of Ceremony. So a big round of applause to Toastmaster, to our President Toastmaster Latha. So moving forward, let's go in for the evaluation for this first speaker, that is Toastmaster Darshan by our evaluator, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome here. Yes, good evening. What is my job I am doing? I being an industry, my job is to mainly select people. The HR person comes and tells me, sir, there is one person, I asked her, what is his name? She said, Darshan. Please send him, I wanted to interview him. When he came to my office, in my room, I said, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. I was observing, when a person comes to my room, I observe what confidence he has, what courage he has, what conviction he has, what commitment, all these things I will observe when he enters my room. How well he has dressed. I observed Darshan has dressed well. When he came here, I told him, can you tell about yourself? This is the main question I asked. By listening to them, how do they speak, I will declare or I will select, he can be recruited in our company. When he came here, the volume was not up to the mark. And for some time he has kept one of his hands in the pocket. I advise him to overcome that fear or other things. Otherwise, he has dressed up well and he was speaking nicely. So, he has not told completely about his family. Am I correct, Darshan? And even education was also not told completely. See, when a person comes and talks about himself, he must talk in every way. I see some of the candidates who come here, the way in which they speak, I instantly give my verdict, yes, here is a person with whom we can select our company. So that should be the power of a speaker when he comes for a faces for interview. Icebreaker is a very important thing which we have to practice many times. This is the platform where you can learn. In icebreaker, what is it you have to this thing? What is it you have to tell? One is your family, your education, your goals, your habits, what you can do, what you can, and you must tell them, if you recruit me, this is what I am going to do. If after becoming a Toastmaster, I want to become like this. Such type of things I always expect from the candidate who comes for the job. So he has to work more. So volume has to be increased, high contact should be there, and a lot of things I expect from you, Darshan. This is a very good thing you have done. This is the first step you have come here. Please come here and keep on practicing here. Because when you go for a job, these are the main things that we observe. Because putting a right man at right place is the job of mine. People are more important than infrastructure. What is it I observe? He has to speak correctly and other things. I wish you all the best. Nothing to worry. It is the first step. Each step is important. Definitely will improve. After some more training, I will definitely improve to my. Please come and contact me. I will select it my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. That was a very creative way of giving a feedback. It was very different and I like that. As per our Toastmasters requirement and protocol, feedback is to have 3 parts. What you excelled at, what you can challenge yourself and where you can work on becoming better. And as a icebreaker speech, Mr. Veerabhadrappa has given his feedback wherein he spoke about family, interest and profession. That is very important as an icebreaker speech. One should speak about their family, where in Darshan's speech we did not know about like names of his parents, what do they do, if you have siblings or not. we are aware of your interest to some extent and profession where you are working, what are you, what is your aspiration, and those things we are not yet aware of. And of course, you did speak about why you joined Toastmasters, like no goal, but no goal is the goal. And very well done. For any evaluator, I mean, this was a very creative way of putting it across, but as an evaluator, we have to have it in a sandwich method. Apart from that, I think a big round of applause to the speaker and the evaluator. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Ujwal. I now call upon Toastmaster Chetan to give the evaluation.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
I'd like to evaluate Toastmaster Ujwal's speech today. I'll evaluate it on 3 criteria. Firstly, the comedy, the purpose, and the visual aids, because those are the 3 things the speech was about. The purpose, the general purpose of the speech was entertainment. That was very, very clear. All of us were entertained. But the specific purpose of the speech was quite unclear to me. And even when I asked him for the purpose statement itself, I couldn't find it. Second, let's come to the...
Just hold it. Let them finish. We will have to finish it. No problem.
Let's come to the comedy aspect of his speech. Some of the jokes were amazing. For example, the US folks listening to FM radio, and the other one as well, the co-working, excited to work at a co-working space because he had been to a co-ed school. Comedy shines when it's unexpected, right? That's the beauty of comedy. When we don't see it coming and it hits us, the joke is bound to be funny. And right at the beginning, you told us about going from insane to insane, right? The title of your speech itself revealed this. So when you try to play that as a joke, it is not going to be funny because we've already seen it. Very simple. So coming to the comedy, the jokes that were unexpected did land. The jokes that you tried too hard, very simple. The third part is the visual aids. I thought the visual aids were good. They were not distracting. We could focus on you as a speaker, not on the screen. So that was that's a plus, right? Now the question I really ask is, was it even necessary for this speech? Because there wasn't a lot communicated through it. While some of the visuals did make sense, it can be distracting in certain speeches. For example, we had to reorient the room, we had to do all the dhamaka that comes with choosing a visual aid. The other thing is, even when there is nothing, it's a bright white screen. A bright screen is far more distracting than a speaker standing next to him. So when you choose to have a visual aid, it's really worth thinking about twice whether having a bright screen is going to dull my impact. I think with that I have covered the 3 pillars that I wanted to. Thank you, and back to our...
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. Your evaluation did make it clear where the areas where he excelled and what he could improve and challenge himself. I agree with you, like the topic insane to insane. Where exactly was it? Did it lead to? I was not very sure about it. What you intend to speak in your speech was not very clear. Apart from that, I go as Toastmaster Chetan said, but one more thing I would want to put it across here. As a Toastmaster speech, the speaker has a choice to, I'm not sure, maybe K Prabhakara can correct me if I'm wrong, that a speaker can choose to put up slide, even if the speech does not require as a way of practice to put it up. So that does not hold it to be in sync with the speech. This is what I think. Like what Toastmaster Chetan said, that it need not, the speech did not have any need to put up a slide presentation.
He can put up, only thing is the speaker has to establish the relevance. And perhaps what he took for granted is that the audience is intelligent enough to understand the kind of graphs that he had put. And perhaps it's one way it is right, because he understood that the audience have intelligent, the graph need not be explained. But it's depending on the audience, you may even take up the explanation aspect of it through a laser pointer. This you see, this is how it changes. One is random, another is radically different. So it's up to it's speaker who guesses the kind of audience that he has in front of him.
Maybe if the speaker would have explained why he is putting up the graph, the presentation to the speaker, how to connect, maybe it could have made a bit more impact. But apart from that...
But if you consider that he is addressing, let us assume, there is a way in Toastmaster, he can, while the MC can say that he is actually showing it to a executive board or something like that of an organization, where if you explain too fundamentally, they may not like a person presenting in that level. So it depends on what assumption, and he can fix that kind of audience you are addressing. You can make him say that. There is a provision for that in Toastmasters. Before the start of the speech, you can say you are addressing a board of directors or something like that. If you can make an assumption, and he will announce accordingly. And assumption is that you will not explain at a very fundamental level. So it's up to the speaker. I think I clarified your question.
One can take up the presentations in the speech here. Thank you, and a big round of applause to the speaker and the evaluator. Now we have the table topic master, Toastmaster Apoorva. What is simple topics but yet so impactful? For me, it made so much of a meaningful session where there was so much of learning. Even the questions, whether the speaker, I'm sure you may all relate. More than the speaker, if each one of us are going through our mind, how can we look at it in our perception, or how can we see it in a bigger way of self-help. So a very wonderful session done, and I like the way you explained the session, which wonderfully weaving it in the topic of the meaning of mundane. I think you made it very clear about your presence behind the lectern by giving the topic. After the speaker spoke, you did not add much to their speech, but very graciously gave the next topic. And I liked it, and I'm like disappointed I missed having one of your topic to speak about. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Apoorva. So now it's time to call our TAPG role takers. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ajay to give his report on the as a timer.
Thank you, General Evaluator. We commenced the meeting 12 minutes late at 6:27 p.m. We saved 2 minutes in the business session. Our Sergeant at Arms took 1 minute extra. The President's address took a minute and a half extra. The Master of Ceremonies made some time by saving us 5 minutes. Both our speakers for the day used up their full quota of 6 and 7 minutes respectively. And the table topic session spanned 21 minutes and 25 seconds. The individual speaker times is listed on the board, and over to you, General.
very creative and innovative way of giving your report for the timing. Like the person saved 2 minutes, 3 minutes were extended. Like it shows your presence of mind in listening and in calculating, which is very amazing. Yet, I would suggest as a timer, like we saved 2 minutes, the speaker had 5 minutes, well the speaker took 3 minutes, and so there was 2 minutes of saving. So the audience will know what was the time given and what was the time taken, which makes more clarity as to the proceedings in aspect with the time. But very well done, and a big round of applause for Ajay's confidence. Next we have Toastmaster Midhun for our counter report.
Thank you, Latha. Here is my counter report. Roll takers Toastmaster Shuba, Latha, Madhusudhan, Ajay, Sachin, Apoorva were flawless. Speaker Toastmaster Darshan had 5 poses during the speech, and Evaluator speech Veerabhadrappa, Ujwal and Chetan were flawless. And table topic speakers Veerabhadrappa, K Prabhakara and Chetan flawless. And Apoorva had 3 and 1 Ajay 5 and Sachin 5 1 and Aakash 3 and Shuba 5 and Toastmaster Jyothi 5 and 2 poses. Here is my report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Midhun, for your report on the counter. As a debut counter role, you have done very well. This shows your involvement in listening and making a note of it. Very well done for that. For everyone who takes up role as a newcomer, Toastmaster is a very formal way of educating ourselves for the leadership qualities or public speaking, where formality is very important. So as when you speak about this members, one should call them as Toastmaster Sachin, Toastmaster Madhusudhan, Toastmaster Aakash, and not by their name. Like what the counter role person did here was randomly say like Ajay, Sachin, Apoorva. So we need to add the Toastmaster, and distinguished Toastmaster, we have 3 of them. 3 of them in our club. One of them is DTM K Prabhakara. So if you say DTM K Prabhakara, it is good. We cannot say K Prabhakara. But apart from that, must ensure applause for the effort he has put in for his first time as a counter role. And now we have Toastmaster Apoorva to give the PP evaluation.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today there was no mention of sex, religion or politics, and there was no exit or entry during, without an applause there was no exit or entry. But one thing I noticed is there was a ring initially at the start of the meeting. So kindly make sure that your phones are switched off or are put on silent mode. And secondly, I saw many people were using phones, especially when the speaker was behind the lectern and was speaking. Somewhere, the speaker suddenly loses his or her confidence and it kind of gets discouraging. So let's make it a point to avoid using phones, especially when there's a speaker behind the lectern. On that note, I would like to hand over the charge to Ajay, the Evaluator, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apoorva, for that detailed report. And I'm sure going forward, I think we must all avoid cell phone, because the purpose of coming and attending the meeting dissolves when we get focused into our cell phone. So a big round of applause to Toastmaster Apoorva. And I call upon Grammarian Toastmaster Sachin.
Good evening, everyone. So here's my report as the Grammarian. So the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Apoorva and Toastmaster Jyothi. So now coming to some of the good usages that I observed. First is canon shield, snowball 2. Calm doesn't come from choice, but it is built. Beauty into comfort and comfort to habit. And stop being driven and start driving. Now coming to some of the not so good usages. Will listen for can be used as will listen to. My hobbies keeps on changing. Either it should be my hobbies keep on changing or my hobby keeps on changing. Used to say to me can be used to tell me. And little bit of nervous. It should either be little bit nervous or little bit of nervousness. So yeah, that's the report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, for the minute grammar rectification also, which makes a huge difference as a listener. And a big round of applause to Toastmaster Sachin. Now for the MC of today, Toastmaster Madhusudhan. I must applaud him for this wonderful theme. It really made such a huge impact to me personally. Like today the mundane thing became so special. Like we always think things are so mundane, what's the use of it? But he brought in so much of value to it with his, again, I think he is doing good, and I'm also the 3 C's. His confidence, content and consistency in his speech, the way he spoke, no pause, no thinking or uninterrupted flow of words, really made a huge impact on the theme with whatever he had to say about his own story. Like cold morning, running all alone, like what could it be? And then he comes out with what a progress it made in his life. Also, I like the way you connected the content with Ralph C. Smedley. It was so beautifully woven, like as if it was a part of it. There was no anyway, there was no barrier sort of. There was no pause there. It just came as a part of your content of the theme. One area where I would suggest you to work on is you have a great presence of mind confidence behind the lecture. And today, even while you were speaking, you did have your facial expressions, gestures in place. A bit more of your tone, like dramatize it. It would be more impactful. And when you are introducing the speakers or the role takers, like when you introduce the speakers, GE, whoever, the tone is the same of your speech. Maybe at that time bring in more enthusiasm, more energy, like, and let's welcome Toastmaster Apoorva, like her introduction, and then you go up. So everyone are like, okay, let's welcome her, and the energy goes to the speaker and the role taker also. Apart from that, I must say a very, very, very well done Masters of Ceremony by Toastmaster Madhusudhan, and a big round of applause to him. I think with this I have covered everything as a GE, and I would hand it back to the MC, but I must tell that GE role is very, very challenging for me because my memory, my flow of words has to be connecting, and like, yeah, I'm doing well week by week whenever I take it up. So that is the GE evaluation for the GE today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. That was a great evaluation, I guess. Now I'd like to call upon our President Toastmaster, Latha.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Madhu, for giving us a beautiful theme and a learning experience which will be cherished for a very long time. Now, I understand one guest who entered late. I would request the guests to please introduce themselves. And wherever you are, tell us your name and how did you come to know about our club.
Hello everyone. My name is Chetan and I am from Bangalore. I came to know Toastmaster when I was studying in my college and something. And then I literally enrolled for some 2 classes. And then after I enrolled for C, and then I couldn't get time to attend some meetings and all. And last week I came here, but last week couldn't make it here due to some work. So yeah, that's how.
Okay, 3 more people need to still respond. Just a quick reminder to the executive committee, we are going to have a meeting after this. I would request all the EXCOM members to please stay back. Sometimes the Airtel network is a problem. It's showing me 11 when I see everyone hitting the button here. Yes, now it's 12.
How many should be there?
14.
This is not working here, for me at least.
Right outside. Slow, it's very slow.
The network service. Contest group. I don't think you can vote again. Only one time. You have to come with innovative ways. Done? Exactly 14:09. Okay, now starting with starting off with the best evaluator. The best evaluator for the meeting goes to Toastmaster Chetan. This also should come in. best TAPG role taker goes to our timer, Toastmaster Ajay. Now the best table topic speaker. Best table topic speaker goes to distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara. The best MTG role taker goes to a Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Madhu. Now the hottest one. The best speaker goes to the person who gave icebreaker, Toastmaster Darshan. Congratulations to all the winners. It feels proud to give your first ribbon to your mentee. Okay, I hereby close the session meeting number 1342. Let's rise for the national anthem.